and Luminant Nanite wasn't activated in the previous project since we updated it from Unreal Engine 4, so it needs to activate it now. So this is what the scene looks like when it is done compiling. Obviously it doesn't look as good beforehand, some things broke, but that's okay because we're just going to be grabbing individual assets. We're not using this scene as a whole. Also, if your game is lagging, one thing you could do is come up to settings, and under engine scalability settings, we can lower the quality of everything. So let's say if your game is really laggy, you can come here and select medium, and then that will just decrease the quality of everything for you automatically. So that is really, really nice. So I'll just come back up to settings. Let's go and let's set it at epic, which is where it's at by default. So if I go into unlit mode, we can go around my scene a lot better, and we notice that there's a massive glitch. And that is my objects disappear when I get far away from them. So this is a glitch right now with Unreal Engine 5. You might not have this issue, but if I click on this asset right here and let's go into the details panel, I'll scroll all the way down, and I believe it's under, let me type in LOD. Okay, there we go. So it's under rendering LOD, and we can see desired max draw distance is set to 3,750. So that is what's causing the issue where we scroll away and that static mesh disappears. So the way you would fix this on all your meshes is to go through and simply reset its value back to 0. So now if we look at that actual individual mesh, we scroll back, it's not disappearing really fast. But obviously, I'm not going to go through here and change that for every single mesh. And keep in mind that this is a glitch. If you're watching this in the future, this is probably already fixed by now. So what I'm going to do is press Control and Space. And within Creek Assets, I already created a blueprint that will do everything for you. So if we just double click this blueprint, and keep in mind you don't need to know what is happening right here because this is just a temporary fix for a glitch. But when I drag my blueprint into my world, it will go over all the static meshes, and then it will set its max draw distance back to 0, which is its default value. So that will fix everything, and it will prevent me from having to go through each and every static mesh, go into details panel, and then manually have to click reset right there. I'm going to drag out fix desired draw distance right into my world, let go. And now I'm going to delete it because I don't need it anymore. If I scroll back, we can see that my static meshes are...
Oh, I can't.
No. Yeah.
Rush. Why do you send rush?
I know that you think that you in love with me. I know this is where you wanna be, but right now I just
fixed. So I'm press Control and S to save this map. Also, in case you don't know how to change your view modes, you just want to come up here and change them there, or you can press Alt 432 as a little shortcut. I think I'm gonna go ahead and let's create our world completely from scratch. So let's make a new level. I'm gonna come into Creek Assets and let's create right click, new folder, and I'm going to call this maps. And with it, the maps, if I go into it, let's right click and let's create a new level, and
that dropper.
I heard
Now
it.
you can't live without the drama.
Please, I
I
know
think
you're
she
behind.
going crazy. She's stalking me. She keep on calling me, but she won't talk to me. She going crazy. She keep running around.
And let's call this creep. And I'm gonna double click on this. Let's see. Selected. And now here we are within our completely blank.
Do something stupid, I would have been gone, been gone. But I'ma play it cool for now. And I think you need to cool it down. We good, I got you. I don't want nothing at you, but I gotta tell the whole world about you. I think she going crazy. She keep on calling me, but she won't talk to me. She going crazy. She keep running around, telling everybody how I knocked her down. She wanna be my lady. Too bad. If you ever get a chance, then I'll do that. She gone. She just wants too much of my time. She crazy.
Blank level, we know it's completely blank because if we look at our world outliner, there are no objects in here currently. So from this level, we're going to create our environment completely from scratch. So the first thing we need is, of course, a landscape. So I'm going to come up here and click on landscaping mode, and then within manage and new, let's create a new landscape. I think I will make sections per component instead of 1 by 1. Let's make it 2 by 2. That's how we have some more resolution to sculpt with. And then I'm going to press create, just like that. So that will create our landscape. But of course we can't see our landscape because we need just like that. So that will create our landscape, but of course we can't see our landscape because we need a sun. So going to create lights. Let's drag in a directional light. And let's also go to create visual effects, and let's drag in a sky and atmosphere to give our ourselves a nice great lights. Let's drag in a directional lights. And let's also go to create visual effects, and let's drag in a sky and atmosphere to give ourselves a nice sky. But we have the issue, and that is our light isn't hooked up to the sky. So clicking on our light, I'm going to come into details, and let's set our light to movable since I want this.
That's unmovable. Turn the light.
This would be fully dynamic scene. And if we scroll all the way down, we should see the atmosphere sunlight. I'm going to check this on. That's how our sun is coming through. create, just like that. So that will create our landscape, but of course we can't see our landscape because we need a sun. So going to create lights. Let's drag in a directional light. And let's also go to create, visual effects, and let's drag. In a sky and atmosphere to give ourselves a nice sky, but we have the issue, and that is our light isn't hooked up to the sky. So click on our light. I'm going to come into details and let's set our light to movable since we want this to be fully dynamic scene. And if we scroll all the way down, we should see the atmosphere sunlight. I'm going to check this on. That's how our sun is coming through the sky. Just like that. Now we have that nasty black void right there, and we can get rid of that black void.
thing.
By dragging in, if we go to create visual effects, and exponential height fog. So just drag this in just like this, and we'll have one issue, and that is if I hold Control and L at the same time, I can move my sun down. And my exponential height fog is still emissive. And this is why we went into project settings and we changed the fog right there and we turned it on. Because if I click on my height fog right now and I'll press on the details panel, I'm going to change fog in scattering color all the way to black. And then I'm going to scroll down and let's also change directional in scattering color all the way to black too. So if I press OK, and now if I hold on Control and L to move my sun down, we can see that our scene goes completely black, and that's exactly what I want. This is why we enabled that setting within the project settings. And another thing I will do is let's add in a character for scale. So we're going to go into our content drawer and third person. Let's go into character, mesh, and I'm going to drag in sk_mannequin right there. Just Mesh, and I'm gonna drag in sk underscore character content drawer and third person. Let's go. Into character, mesh, and I'm gonna drag in sk underscore mannequin right there, just like this. And we need some light from the sky that should be projected onto our scene. So I'm gonna go to create, lights, drag in a skylight. And I'm gonna set the skylight to movable, just like that, and make sure real-time capture is turned on. So there we go. Now if I press Control and L, we can move our sun around. And And I'd say that is about it. We are done with lighting this scene. Now we're going to have to go into set dressing. Because lighting scenes in the outdoor are very easy. Pretty much all you need is fog, a sky, and a light, and a skylight, and that's it. Because 90% of outdoor scenes are pretty much just lit by two things, and that is your sky and your sun. So now what we're going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and let's place a landscape material onto my landscape. So I've already made a landscape material for you. If you press Control and space, you should come to Create Assets, and then Materials, and it's this one right here, mi_auto landscape _ creek. So we're going to go into the details panel. For some reason Unreal isn't letting me have these two windows open at the same time, so I'm going to go right click. Let's restore this tab real quickly, and then press Control and space, and let's drag our landscape creek onto it just like this. So keep in mind, if we open up this auto landscape, this is the same exact auto landscape that you could download right now from my Gumroad, and I also have a bunch of videos that go over what each of these features do. So I can't go over this entire landscape because then that will add 2 hours onto our tutorial, and we're already pushing it as is. If you really want to, I have an entire landscape series that you can check out that will go over all the basic features of what this landscape material is doing. But for our purposes and for this beginner tutorial series, if I open up the instance of that landscape material, we can see that I've already set up some variables that you can always come back in and play with them if you don't like them, but I think all of these settings are good enough. What we need to do is that we need to
It's on night mode now.
we come through and we need to populate these with some textures from our medieval environment that I like. So those textures are specifically located within megascans and then surfaces. So we can see if I open. Open up these surfaces, we can see each of the textures of them. So I'm going to drag in some of these right here into my material instance, and we will start